Millions of people enter combat sports, willing to sacrifice everything for a shot at glory.
The legs, and look above it again!
23-pound weight advantage, and he put it on.
But only a select few can endure the hardship, survive the trials, and earn their place among the greatest fighters in history. And right now, you're about to witness the best of the best and the difficult road they traveled to reach the top.
I'm Hurricane McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass.
McNeely's hurt this time, Steve. He's very hurt. He can barely...
These sneaky rats dared to disrespect Iron Mike himself.
I owe it to myself to go out there and beat Michael Tyson like I am his dad. He's made for me. Tyson.
And now we will witness the public execution of the scoundrels who, with their filthy words and devious actions, incited Mike Tyson's wrath and paid the price. This is Boxing Space. Here we go. The first rat in Tyson's path was the most controversial figure of the golden era of boxing. The Polish fighter Andrew Golota. Golota booked himself a star on the Walk of Shame for his nastiness and for confusing boxing with billiards, knocking opponents in the balls.
Low blows, and down goes Bo again.
Yeah, that's it.
But when Iron Mike faced the Pole, the cocky rat turned into a frightened Mickey Mouse. The bell rang, and Tyson, taking on the role of exterminator, began the process of eliminating the particularly large rodent.
Over the left eye of Golota. Connecting with a devastating right. Tyson all over Golota. Strikes to the head. There's another right hand. Golota's chin withstanding that, but how much more can he take? Tyson again.
Golota's pathetic defense couldn't help him, so in his usual manner, he switched to dirty boxing, resorting to wrestling techniques.
He might miss a few shots, but you can see there's some fear in his eye. He's felt the pain.
But Tyson didn't put up with such rat acts and sent the Pole's dirty ass to the canvas.
Down goes Andrew Golota. What a right, straight right on the button. Golota down.
Same right ended up in that cut, Steve.
During the one-sided beating, Golota looked like a schoolboy desperate for the bell to save him from the teacher's punishment, and somehow he managed to escape. Afterwards, Golota got up and cowardly fled the ring, forever becoming a disgraceful stain on boxing.
It's over. He's done it again. Golota quits. After he quits at the end of 2 rounds. Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Iron Mike Tyson.
The second chapter of our story goes back to 1990, when at the forefront of the most fearsome heavyweight scalp collectors was Naoya Inoue, better known as Razor.
Not using his legs at all.
But one day, the fearsome star of the ring showed his dark side. After the bell, he treacherously sent his opponent on a date with Morpheus.
What's going to happen? He hit him after the bell.
Next, with a sense of complete impunity, as he continued to climb the peak of the boxing Olympus, he arrogantly decided that he would easily dethrone Mike Tyson. And so, in 1991, the Titans of the ring clashed in a fierce battle.
Round 1 scheduled for 12.
From the very beginning, Razor shocked everyone, using his blades to tear into the legendary opponent.
Well, he'd thrown a big punch. He stumbled after the punch.
Richard Steele was referee 83 title fight.
Uppercut and then the right hand over. Oh, nice hook.
Here comes Razor Ruddock out of nowhere. A right hook.
Again.
A left uppercut by Razor Ruddock. That stunned Tyson. Now Tyson says no. Hit me again. And the bell sound.
But Iron Mike activated Berserk mode, unleashing his iron will and showering Ruddock with a barrage of punches.
Action on his own.
Stewart and Henry Tillman in his last an associate minister lets them know. Doesn't seem to care. A hard body punch by
Integrity or
honesty.
Up here for withstanding this kind of barrage. Oh, what a right fight! Midway through the fourth.
Tyson looking for that. Oh.
Down goes Ruddock.
Good shot. He just doesn't quite get there.
There's a left by Ruddock. A left by Tyson, and down goes Ruddock.
What a counterpunch. You can question his integrity or his honesty.
A flurry.
In the end, Tyson brutally punished the scoundrel and took his soul, sending him from the boxing Olympus to the Tartarus.
Oh, the left. Now the right. Combination. Steele steps in. Is it over? It's over. It's over. And Mike Tyson has defeated Razor Ruddock here in the 7th round.
It's going to be...
TKO Mighty Mike Tyson.
In February 1989, a British showboater appeared on Tyson's horizon who could literally be called a dildo builder.
Coming from Bruno. And Big Jesse is looking a little unsteady on his pins. Oh my word, he's not...
Frank Bruno is a dumb jock who allowed himself to insult and humiliate Mike in public.
But I want to knock him out so good into Don King's lap and wipe him off the map because he's bad for boxing and his people are bad for boxing. I see myself knocking out Mike Tyson spectacularly, knocking him out. No way he's going to beat me. No way.
Tyson, filled with rage, eagerly awaited the day when his foot would finally set foot in Sin City, so he could personally beat every ounce of rat-like filth out of Bruno with his own hands.
Physique, 27 pounds heavier, almost 4 inches taller.
From the very beginning of the fight, Tyson decided to remind everyone of his title as the baddest man on the planet.
If he makes a mistake early, you can't fix it, Jim. That was never great to begin with.
A left hook by Tyson, but Bruno goes away. Tyson's people wanted to bob and roll, be less of a target attack.
And only after that did the dumb jock realize that he was face to face with a real predator who would tear his rat carcass apart right then and there.
But it was a nice effort.
And anytime, oh, here comes Tyson. Tyson with a combination. Oh, a left hook by Mike Tyson, flush on the face of Frank Bruno. Another left and a combination.
So, the crafty scoundrel decided to resort to an unworthy tactic and turn the fight into a cuddle party.
Put any efforts toward punching if he's just worried about holding.
On Mike's side, he's not bobbing and weaving like he has.
Maybe the nerves and the jitters, he may be settling in.
Tyson looking to go back to work.
But this cocky man only added fuel to Mike's raging fire, and in the next moment, the enraged Tyson plunged the scoundrel's consciousness into darkness.
What Bruno expected. He said he's not looking for the Tyson who fought McNeely and Mathis. There's a combination uppercut by Tyson. Tyson laying it on, pouring it on. Down goes Bruno into the ropes. And it is all over.
Thus, Mike made him humble forever.
Iron Mike Tyson.
In May 1986, Mike found himself in the crosshairs of Mitch Green, the real leader of the American gang.
Try to extort more money. His manager, Carl King.
He publicly threatened Mike Tyson, claiming he was ready to easily destroy the ring legend.
Tyson, and you know it. You hit me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. My last name is Green. It's a sign, it's an omen. Michelle City Tyson, you're mine.
Before the fight, Mike's gaze burned with a fierce desire to punish the scoundrel for his audacity.
Last fight that we showed you here on HBO, that between Larry Holmes and Michael.
As soon as the bell rang, Tyson immediately took control, leaving the arrogant fool no chance to survive.
So we'll see what he does about that against
I'm really reluctant to go full swing 10 rounds. I had that same experience when I fought my first 10 round in Baltimore.
And again, Mike Tyson bolting out of his corner right on top.
To Tyson, because Tyson's going straight ahead. He's coming straight ahead. The reason you tie a fighter up is to at least clear your head, or either to throw
his Festamata with his career period.
About the head.
Eager to fully punish the scumbag, Mike decided to slowly and painfully beat the crap out of him, turning the ring into a true torture chamber.
Can be learned in talking to some of the people he fought.
Look at here.
Just laughing at him.
Not getting any type of respect from Mike Tyson, mainly because he's not making a fist when he throws his punches.
Good left.
That was good.
Let it go, and shot.
I mean, Tyson there, good uppercut.
Tyson had against Tillis. And what a shot! That is an awesome shot.
That was just a jab.
Thus, Mike brutally punished the gang leader.
Here again.
Oh, what a left hand! Another day in the classroom. Big left hand to end things.
Mike Tyson.
I didn't want to knock him out or anything. I wanted to put a lot of pressure on him and make him decide himself whether to give up or not. He wouldn't get knocked out. If he get hit on the chin, he can't see the punch, and he will say, "Oh, I didn't see the punch. I got knocked out."
But 2 years later, Mitch decided to arrange an unofficial rematch, which took place right on the street. The gang leader showed up to face Tyson, determined to answer for his words. But Tyson, with a single punch, added a splash of red to Green's face. It seemed the blow was so powerful that Green went from being a fearsome gangster to a church pastor.
God has healed me. He has brought me out. He has brought me over, and I look forward to my future.
Next, after his triumphant return from prison to the ring, the honor of welcoming Tyson fell to a particularly brash and cocky fighter, Peter McNeely, nicknamed Hurricane. Thinking that Iron Mike had rusted after his prison sentence, McNeely allowed himself to show blatant disrespect towards his opponent.
I'm Hurricane Peter McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass. You'd have a big dump in your pants.
Tyson didn't engage in his opponent's dirty game. Instead, he let his fists do the talking.
Great deal on his movement the past few months, and here we go. And McNeely, as advertised, comes right at Mike Tyson. Down goes McNeely. Seconds into the first round.
McNeely, eager to live up to his nickname, rushed to destroy his opponent, but was immediately met with a dose of sedation from Tyson.
Seconds into the fight, McNeely on the canvas. One minute gone by. McNeely's already been down.
I'll tell you what, Steve. Nothing but...
McNeely was unable to counter Iron Mike and impacted him not like a hurricane, but more like a light, refreshing breeze.
Mills Lane had stopped that nonsense because they were starting to butt heads. Oh.
Tyson with a left hook, a right uppercut. Down goes McNeely again.
McNeely's hurt this time, Steve. He's very hurt. He can barely stand.
In the end, the king of boxing quickly brought McNeely down from the heavens, turning him into a fallen angel and adding another scalp of a brazen victim to his highlight reel.
At first, it appeared as if McNeely...
The first obstacle on Mike Tyson's path to glory was the WBC champion named Trevor Berbick. Berbick had a notorious reputation as a dirty fighter, often resorting to underhanded tactics, such as hitting his opponents in the back of the head, showing no regard for their health. Moreover, he was known for sending Muhammad Ali into retirement, inflicting significant damage on the health of the greatest.
They're just above us. Berbick is pounding everything in to level him. Always could take a punch, but now he's in trouble. Yep, he looks like he's in trouble.
Trevor Berbick.
Well, there you have it. Trevor Berbick.
These reasons were more than enough for 20-year-old Mike to mercilessly tear Berbick apart in the ring.
Easier said than done, but if he can, then he can be in the hunt.
It's no surprise that the fight was called Judgment Day, as from the very start, Mike began delivering retribution with his fists, punishing Berbick.
Big right hand. Tyson's punches even sound good. Trevor Berbick, we should point out, has been down twice. There's another big shot by Tyson. Berbick in a heap of trouble. Down he goes.
The punches are coming in such a succession that...
But Berbick, attempting to show that his opponent's punches were harmless, allowed himself to taunt the baddest man on the planet, effectively signing his own death sentence.
By Tyson. And a right behind it, and Berbick is rocked. In trouble here.
But in the end, Tyson mercilessly punished the impudent fool for all his sins, causing Berbick to lose his sense of direction in the ring and making Tyson the youngest champion in the history of the heavyweight division.
There's a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Berbick is down. It's over. That's all. And we see heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Tyson.
In the fall of 1987, in a fight for the title of undisputed world champion, Mike Tyson decided to settle the score with an old nemesis, Tyrell Biggs, who had once robbed the young Tyson of his chance at Olympic gold. And so, 3 years later, the cocky Tyler was confident that he would once again take away his well-deserved world title, which is why he allowed himself to publicly humiliate Mike.
You know, I owe it to myself to go out there and beat Michael Tyson like I am his dad. He's made for me. Tyson.
As soon as the bell rang, the spectators were frozen in shock.
Movement on the part of Tyrell Biggs.
For Tyson, the king of the ring found himself in the role of the victim, and the fight resembled a father spanking his son.
See, a good stepping jab is very effective. Whether or not Biggs can keep this up. That's the uppercut. Throw the jab like he's doing now, not to let Tyson set up.
With every passing second, Biggs' confidence grew, and he began to neglect his defense, playing recklessly with fate.
He's trying for the head. Now we see the jab again. And come with that right hand.
That was a quick little overhand right by...
But Tyson, unwilling to tolerate such disrespect, decided to drill some lessons and manners into his head, starting to teach him a harsh lesson in discipline.
Does the most damage.
There was a big right hand, best punch of the fight.
That was the left hook, Barry. That was left hook.
That's what he said he was going to do. Huge left hand there by Tyson. And a combination by Tyson.
From Tyrell Biggs now. Start those uppercuts.
He took a big left hand there.
Oh, that
was a tremendous left hand.
And from there, Iron Mike relentlessly pummeled the arrogant upstart until he was sent to meet Morpheus.
This is it.
He is gone right now. He has no legs. And 10 seconds to go in a round. There's a left hand. He's down again. It's over. It's all over. And it wasn't even close.
And world heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson!
The final stop in our story was July 1987. Carl Williams, eager to make a name for himself, confidently proclaimed that he was superior to Tyson in every aspect. However, he failed to acknowledge that 17-year-old Mike was just starting his ascent in boxing, while 23-year-old Carl already had 11 professional fights.
And the very next day, I came in the gym with a different attitude towards him. I went into the ring and I busted him up.
But just 6 years later, that young guy had already claimed the title of undisputed world champion. And so, in 1989, the time for Retribution had arrived.
He'll rush straight across here, Tyson, that's a certainty.
From the very beginning, Carl tried to keep the beast at a distance.
Positive start from Williams, but I would feel the safer for him if he would back off and have a look at Tyson.
But Tyson only needed one punch.
He hasn't done that tonight. I wonder if that's a change of plan with it.
Oh, what a left hook. Well, he certainly wasn't cold, Jim. In fact, it looks like Carl Williams has been knocked cold in the first round. Is he going to count him out or let him go on?
And that's how Tyson got revenge on his offender.
Out Iron Mike Tyson.
Transforming every calorie into raw, unbridled power, he became a true icon of the boxing world. Literally swallowing the punches of physically gifted athletes, he proved that his body is the gold standard of athleticism. Eric Esch, better known as Butterbean, is an incredible phenomenon adored by millions of fans.
Opponent in front of him can nail him a little bit, like Funmaker.
And in this video, we're serving up the best fights of this 400-pound powerhouse.
Joel Scott, rising young heavyweight.
This is Boxing Space. Here we go. At the dawn of the 20th century, Esh came face to face with a daunting challenge, known as Jackie Beard. Beard had the height and reach advantage and thought he'd easily steamroll the modest Chubster.
The tough man competition, and he just turned professional, so he's...
From the first bell, Beard charged forward, effortlessly landing shots on his enormous target.
You saw right there in microcosm. Point out they're using 16...
Soon after, the cocky showboater felt his superiority and began to mock the hefty fighter with unabashed arrogance.
Just smiling through this round. Looking to load up that time. Beard says, no, you hit me on the shoulder.
Butterbean tried to fire back, but Beard dodged every punch with the grace of a goose on ice.
Bean was doing a little hot dogging there.
Yeah, they like pillows unless you get
more of a pro style than he is a tough man. Right, because Bean just wants to punch it out.
At one point, the braggart was so sure of his victory, he started dancing in celebration early.
4 round fighters. This is the second round fighters. This is the second round.
But Eric wasn't having any of that haughty disco. After refueling his tank with a splash of chocolate syrup during the break, he awoke a beastly appetite. Then, Butterbean absorbed every one of Beard's strikes like sharp, crispy wings.
Right hand from Butterbean.
And with a precise right, sent Beard soaring into the stratosphere. It seemed like this move had been perfected by Esh, as he's often reaching for beer from the top shelf. In 1995, Butterbean was on a winning streak, racking up 9 victories with hardly any effort, collecting opponents' scalps like rare Pokemons. But then, a fighter emerged who struck fear with his unbelievably athletic physique, Doug Norris. The nickname Dangerous warned our Chubster that this fight wouldn't be an easy snack.
He won several regional tournaments.
The bout began, and Norris, noticing his opponent's short arms, decided to keep Eric at bay.
Into a folk hero because you announced him
trying to prove those people wrong.
Norris is round one. In fact, he's landing anytime he feels like it.
Still, in his desperate attempt to reach his opponent, Esh managed to serve Dangerous a couple of punches before his steroid-fueled machine went into a reckless exchange.
So Butterbean coming forward with some good shots.
And you're seeing some tough man windmilling by Butterbean. He still has that.
He's getting nailed, though, by Norris.
Not expecting such a surge of cholesterol, Norris dropped the knockout idea. Apparently, Butterbean had a third dinner on the schedule, because by the second round he sent the bodybuilder to build his brain, turning the dangerous into the harmless.
Well, it's wild now, folks, and there goes Doug Norris! Well, he never should have slugged with him. He knows that now.
In doing so, he once again proved that muscles alone don't win fights. Butterbean wasn't about to limit his enormous potential. He dove into MMA in addition to boxing. With 7 victories under his belt, the organizers presented Eric with serious opposition in the form of James Thompson, who had already tamed fighters like Mariusz Pudzianowski and Bob Sapp.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fight.
Hey, stop.
Before the fight, Thompson confidently promised he'd finish everything quickly.
I'm going to make it quick, clean, and relatively painful. I just want you to sit back, close your eyes, think of McDonald's, and it'll all be over.
When fight day arrived, the two clashed in the center of the cage.
He's probably going to use his left jab a lot because that.
And that evening, Thompson kept his promise and swiftly ended the fight that had just begun. However, it was he who ended up sitting back.
And I think that there you go. There it is. Oh, that's about it. I mean, that's about it. Butterbean has done it.
Thompson still looking for the takedown. I don't think he's quite aware.
Next up for our 170-kilogram dumpling was Jonathan Whitfield, nicknamed The Bull. During the stare-down, Whitfield tried to intimidate our hero with his sheer physical dominance, unaware that Butterbean's only real fears are an empty fridge and a treadmill. The bell rang, and the feast for the Chubster began.
Of his 7 fights, but comes in and says, well, Butterbean with 19 wins, 9 the first round by Butterbean. Now he rushes in. He sees an opportunity.
Butterbean immediately set about taming the furious bull.
Butterbean knows he's closing in. Whitfield wants it out. And Ed, you were talking about Butterbean trying to get that chance at him. Hey, you want to be famous? Ed,
I called it!
for this one. Now that he's immediate.
And after sending Whitfield crashing into the canvas, Eric once again proved that extra weight in boxing is no problem.
Joel Scott, rising young heavyweight. In a terrific there of Butterbean, seeing him win his 20th against one.
Pat Jackson is another mountain of muscles who couldn't stand the cockiness of those who mocked real athletes. So he stepped in to teach Butterbean a lesson. By that time, our perennial McDonald's regular had 13 wins and 0 losses. Jackson, determined to show the results of his daily gym grind, aimed to erase that sacred 0 in Butterbean's loss column. The fight started, and Esh charged at his opponent like a ravenous predator.
In a survival mode, he's not punching much. I don't think he has much on the punch. He's so tired.
Butterbean tried to swing like a pendulum, but with his size, he ended up resembling a wrecking ball.
What a lucky guy. In round one.
He utilizes every inch of the ring, and he works.
Jackson kept the onslaught at bay with his jabs, nearly puncturing the walking keg of beer that was Butterbean.
For Butterbean, as you heard.
Butterbean tried to dig the body there. Now Jackson stood up there and fight more instinctively if he tries to get too fundamentally oriented.
Then, fueled by a berserk fighting spirit, Esh charged forward blindly, smashing everything, including even the referee.
Right hand, not much behind that. He just reaches out to hold on. Good body work by Butterbean. That's a good idea by him, though.
Try a left hook to the body, then go upstairs. Now he's uppercutting.
The interesting thing, Dave, is he hasn't really hurt Jackson that much with his punch. Jackson is tired.
Tough man type punches, they told him, should have been scheduled for 3.
Yeah, thank you.
Might be one of the most dramatic shots he walked into. Boy, that's combat pay right there.
Seeing such a powerful knockout, Jackson got scared and refused to continue the bout.
The fight, at the end of the round, he's separating the fighters. And referees cannot protect themselves at all times.
That night, Butterbean notched a double victory and, well, earned himself a double Big Mac.
Guys, Terry Wood, who doesn't have to ref anymore.
By 1999, Butterbean had racked up an astonishing 42 wins, but this meathead wasn't about to stop there. His next target, the title of the Meanest Man Contest, and standing in his way was none other than Kevin Talon. Before the fight even began, Butterbean fixed his hungry gaze on his victim, and as soon as the bell rang, he dove in like he was about to enjoy a feast.
He's inactive after having turned pro in 85. One of them against Talon.
As we come to the end of round number 1, Butterbean in control. Talon with some counterpunching of his own. Butterbean missing with a right hand, scoring with a left and a right as Talon comes in.
Hobbling Talon's legs, the self-proclaimed king of 4 rounds raced to finish the fight.
Well, how many fights does he have?
Well, Talon just got knocked, and Butterbean trying to add his 30-second knockout. And he sends Talon down here in round 2.
He played the good body for
Butterbean comfortably in control in this 4-round bout as he continues to pound the overmatched Talon.
But Talon, showing incredible endurance, kept getting back up, making the audience question whether Butterbean's victory was a sure thing.
To look back on those things. Mark Gastineau, he had him with less than ordinary guys, and when he fought a guy who was just even close to a journeyman.
At one point, it even looked as if Esh was against Evil Dead.
It's a whole different sport.
And the way Talon's getting pounded in it.
Butterbean's thinking he's got a guy in front of him who's covering up, so he brings the uppercut up, try to straighten him up.
Continuing to pummel his opponent, the cholesterol-fueled Homelander decided to put an end to Talon's suffering by pinning him against the ropes and brutally finishing the bout.
It's more exciting though when the opponent in front of him can nail him a little bit, like Funmaker, and Talon just can't. And Butterbean finishes him off here in round number Butterbean goes across the ring and congratulates Talent.
Later in 1999, after Butterbean completely dominated his fight with Russell Chastain, the organizers needed a bigger fish for the king of 4 rounds.
Crowd into it. And you know, he set that up with a little trickery. He dipped his shoulder like he was going to go to the body.
Enter Peter McNeely, who volunteered to be the first to send Butterbean packing and put an end to that insatiable boar. By then, McNeely boasted a record of 45 wins, 34 of them finishes.
He could smell the kill and he went right after it, dropped him. 1:53.
Williams got up, but then, this is all from the first round, went down again.
The outcome of this fight would determine if Butterbean was ready to step up to the next level. When the bout began, both fighters immediately exchanged punches.
Circumstance, and certainly has had a long time where he was under drugs and heavy drugs. Let's go to this.
Butterbean goes right to it.
Then Butterbean unleashed a pendulum-like assault that was executed to perfection. However, McNeely managed to halt those swinging blows.
The fan appeal of this guy in the red, white, blue trunks is very, very palpable.
Unwilling to give up, Butterbean launched into a reckless attack, absorbing and delivering punishment in equal measure.
9 pounds lighter than Butterbean. There's a more like him. Oh, he missed with the right, fires away with a...
Intoxicated by his relentless assault, Butterbean brutally finished McNeely, proving once again he was ready to take on the most dangerous heavyweights.
Oh, a right hand by Butterbean that snapped McNeely's head back. Another uppercut. It's all Butterbean. McNeely ready to go, and that's it. Shane 80 steps in and stops the fight.
He's going to get a fight with Tyson because the people demand it. Mike Tyson will be the laughingstock of the industry.
In the early 21st century, Butterbean faced a true bruiser named Marcus Rode, who had racked up 24 wins, all finishes, in his career. Rode was the perfect candidate to dethrone the king of 4 rounds. As soon as the bell rang, Rode began burning off all of the Chubb's calories.
Big right hand.
That fight with Butterbean. Throw that left hook to get in the body like that.
Will fight one of the top fighters, or is he destined to just be...
All I know is when people get to move, done a nice job marketing, there's no doubt about it. Look at it.
Apparently, Rode even sported red shorts that night, embracing his inner matador as he dodged every punch from the enraged bull.
Like that, he takes a big swing.
For 2 grueling rounds, the cardio battle raged on.
You gave the first round to Rode.
Yes, I did.
But Rode, setting a blistering pace, didn't realize he'd tire out first, because Butterbean, despite his unassuming appearance, literally wore his opponent out.
Well, he likes to eat, but he doesn't like to eat leather. Butterbean.
In the end, Butterbean completely cooked Rode.
He'd be a lot quicker and he could be effective. He might be able to... Right now, it's just a sideshow.
Big ripping shots by Butterbean. And it started with the body shot with the right hand. And Rode is facing a rugged road right now, trying to get up on his feet. And it is over.
Or is that short?
Mariusz Pudzianowski is a multiple-time holder of the title of the world's strongest man. But that wasn't enough for the monster. He came to become the strongest in the ring. The Polish Hulk crushes anyone who stands in his way and proves to everyone that his muscles are not for show. Sit back and enjoy as this strong man smashes tough pros, turning them into helpless victims. This is Boxing Space. Here we go. The Polish strongman made his professional ring debut in 2009. No one knew what to expect from this strongman, and his professional opponent, Marcin Najman, appeared to be the favorite. It was expected that the giant would be just a typical shy jack in the ring. As soon as the fight started, Pudzianowski awakened the skills of a true berserker within himself. In his very first fight, he brutally tore apart his opponent, leaving not a trace of him behind. That day, the whole world witnessed the true power of Mariusz Pudzianowski. Next, the newly crowned storm of the fighting world was matched with Michał Materla, who looked more like a tattoo artist's rough draft.
Right now. Big uppercut! There's the uppercut! It's a knockdown!
The bell rang, and the hungry monster immediately pounced on his prey. There was Pitbull written on Materla's trunks, but he looked more like a pitiful mutt. And soon, Mariusz with a powerful punch sent the poor guy to the realm of Morpheus. Pudzianowski was swiftly climbing up the food chain, easily dispatching his opponents. An adherent of healthy living faced off against an antagonist of healthy nutrition.
There you go. There it is. Oh, that's about it. I mean,
the legendary Butterbean came to prove to everyone who the strongest heavyweight was. Both fighters were famous for their achievements in the heavyweight division, but with Mariusz, it was iron, and with Butterbean, it was McDonald's trays. In the fight, Butterbean initially dominated the jack with his boxing technique. Realizing he had no chance in striking, Pudzianowski lifted a career record weight and took the fight to the canvas. Next, Mariusz started kneading the dough out of this fatso, and after feeding the king of fast food a series of quick punches, he secured a sweet victory. On May 23, 2015, Rolls Gracie, a member of the Great Gracie clan, was sent to be devoured by Pudzianowski.
This man takes on the legendary.
Throughout the fight, his opponent kept his distance and feared Mariusz like Mayweather fears taxes. But as soon as he closed the distance slightly, the pole, like an executioner, knocked his head off and turned his defenseless body into a chop. In 2012, Pudzianowski's opponent was the most unconventional fighter. Bob Sapp wanted to test his strength against a true strongman. Before the fight, Sapp actively provoked the pole and arrogantly mocked him.
Can you tell us your name, please?
Yes, my name is Mariana. Hi, Mariana's my name.
KSW-19. I'm coming for you, Mario.
But Mariusz preferred to do his talking in the ring. The bells sounded, and the Hulk began to re-educate the idiot. Bob literally couldn't offer anything against his opponent, and was merely playing the role of a punching bag. Mariusz Pudzianowski wiped out the swagger of the scoundrel and secured another victory. In 2021, matchmakers paired Pudzianowski with a giant straight from the African dunes. The undefeated 350-pound fighter from Senegal proved to be a strong test of the Pole's power. The African fighter immediately charged forward, seemingly relying on his imposing size. But with his very first clean shot, Pudzianowski turned out the lights in the eyes of the African. This guy thought he could intimidate Mariusz with his muscles. He kept puffing out his chest, clearly overestimating his physique, because compared to the Pole, he looked like a little girl. Then, the opponent jokingly decided to shove Pudzianowski, not realizing that jokes were a bad idea with this strongman. The fighters moved into the ring, and the Pole started turning this clown's body into a mash.
Finish this quickly now. It's a slugfest. Can Pudzianowski get on target and cause some damage?
But he looks good. He looks better
to winning in the first round. That low kick there.
Oh, that was really nasty there again.
Now it was clear that he wasn't laughing anymore.
But he comes back, gets knocked down. Pudzianowski straight in there for the ground and pound. Can Kowalczyk survive? Pudzianowski.
Mariusz Pudzianowski easily destroyed this guy and humbled him forever.
He's avoided most of the meaningless shots except for that elbow. There's the tap.
Well, that was unbelievable.
Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Having defeated everyone placed in front of him, Pudzianowski faced Erko Jun. The Bosnian knockout artist, who was on a streak of 3 KOs in a row, was considered a worthy opponent to challenge Pudzianowski's striking power.
Oczekiwaniom swoim I fanów.
In our main event tonight, Erko Jun, Mariusz Pudzianowski.
From the very beginning, Pudzianowski decided not to test his luck with the young bull and took Jun to the canvas, where he relentlessly tried to smash the Bosnian's face with his hammers. In the second, another takedown nearly led to Pudzianowski's loss.
And gets taken down, but this time
Taking the full mount, Jun, holding onto the fence, began unloading a hail of punches, but the honorable referee saw the illegal move and quickly intervened to stop it.
And that's the key word here.
By that time, Pudzianowski was already tired, and the Bosnian, seizing the advantage, began to technically pound the strongman.
These are about what he's doing, but Pudzianowski eats here like it's going out of
while blocking his takedown attempts.
And Erko Jun just has to be a bit more thoughtful.
Erko got carried away with the ground and pound, and by losing focus, he gave Pudzianowski the perfect momentum for transition.
Pudzian on the ropes, on the wire, gets the double leg.
This time, Dominator firmly established himself, and the Polish hammers did their job, breaking every bone in Erko's face along the way.
The hips keep punching. Referee giving a warning here. This looks close.
Well, that's it. It's all over.
In the summer of 2021, our Polish Hulk fought his fellow countryman, Łukasz Jurkowski. The giant tested Jurkowski's strength with a low kick in the first round, but received a solid response to the face. The second attempt at a low kick only brought a mocking smile from Jurkowski. In response, Jurkowski began showcasing his arsenal of high kicks, arrogantly underestimating the jack. After another kick, Pudzianowski caught Jurkowski's leg and brought the showboater to the ground, feeding him with his steroid-powered elbows. In the second round, after a failed back fist, Jurkowski turned into the canvas for the powerful Pudzianowski. Entering the third round after such a beating, the disrespectful Jurkowski didn't want to shake hands with his tormentor. For this behavior, Pudzianowski performed a crucifixion ritual on the sinner and destroyed the scoundrel. James Thompson, the Incredible Colossus, became one of the most significant opponents for Pudzianowski. In 2011, Thompson easily defeated Mariusz and handed him an embarrassing loss.
James the Colossus!
After that, James decided to mock the defeated fighter in his video.
Yes!
The Polish Hulk immediately arrived to take revenge for the defeat and punish the scoundrel. And so, the fighters entered into a fierce battle. But soon, Thompson took control and made the strong man look like a weak child. Then, he tried to choke again, but Mariusz wasn't ready to lose. Like a Hulk pissed off to the max and stronger for it, Pudzianowski put Thompson through hellish torment. In the end, Mariusz secured a decisive victory and punished the scumbag.
Mariusz! Pudzianowski!
He's vicious.
A fearsome flurry, and he's got
Bad motherfuckers, yeah, some killers. Ooh, a monster.
For 13 years, the undefeated Naoya Inoue has been flawlessly collecting the scalps of his opponents. A terrifying mix of freakish power and flawless technique. This Japanese monster has conquered 4 weight divisions, earning the title of the Grim Reaper of modern sweet science. Brace yourselves, because what you're about to see is Inoue proving he's not just a headhunter, but death itself in boxing gloves. This is Boxing Space. Here we go. One of Inoue's most significant achievements is that he competed in the World Boxing Super Series. The fighters in this Super Series are so dangerous, you could list their fists as cold weapons. At this gathering of elite killers, they'd settle once and for all who's the strongest in the world. And the winner even gets the trophy of the great Muhammad Ali. The quarterfinal of the Super Series took place in October 2018. Back then, Inoue was matched against the Dominican, Juan Carlos Payano.
So here we go then.
When the fight started, Payano's attempts to register Inoue on the canvas only made him laugh. So, the Japanese monster began adjusting his rifles to one-shot his opponent. Therefore, securing himself a ticket to the semifinals with the best possible spot, right inside the ring.
Naoya Inoue has
The Super Series semifinal took place on May 18, 2019. And for Inoue, this fight was meant to be a real test. He was up against Emmanuel Rodriguez, the undefeated IBF world champion with a perfect 19-0 record. But in this fight, sports interest took a back seat because all the Japanese hitman wanted was to avenge his family's honor. This act of disrespect happened in the gym even before the bout. Rodriguez's coach had the nerve to shove Inouye's father right in front of his eyes, showing blatant disrespect. That was when Inoue promised himself that he'd take brutal revenge on that insolent coach by devastating his protege. And then the day of retribution arrived, filled with a burning desire for vengeance. Inoue loaded his fists with pure hatred for his opponent. When the bell rang, the Puerto Rican immediately charged Inoue with relentless pressure.
Rodriguez started going forward, getting things done quickly.
But the enraged monster first unloaded a series of combos on Rodriguez's head, then delivered a crushing punch that tuned his opponent's GPS navigation straight to the canvas.
For this fight, running away. This is a fearsome flurry, and he's got him on the left for the first time in his career. Corner right above us.
It seemed like the Puerto Rican tried to use his extra life coin. But Inoue wasn't about to drag out the boxing match. He sent Rodriguez packing to the hub, completely breaking his will. In the end, Inoue emerged victorious and claimed the IBF belt, ruthlessly avenging that disrespectful act by giving the coach's protege his very first loss. After advancing to the Super Series final, Inoue faced the fight of his life. No one had ever thumped him so hard in his triumphal career. The fight, which earned Inoue a spot in the World Boxing Super Series, took place in 2018. In it, Inoue was gunning for the WBA World Champion belt and to conquer yet another weight division. His opponent was Jamie McDonnell, a two-time world champion who had defended the WBA belt 5 times and hadn't been beaten in a decade. Apparently, all his past victories inflated his ego to Olympian levels.
When I'm the best bantamweight on this planet.
And he started throwing around the nastiest insults imaginable.
I'm gonna smash him, I know I am.
But once the fight began, it quickly became clear that this trash talker had only trained his tongue. From the first bell, Inoue, like a Japanese tooth fairy armed with bone-crushing punches, began cleaning out McDonald's filthy mouth. Even though the insolent guy tried to hurt the noble warrior from the land of the rising sun, the bout still looked like a one-sided annihilation. Not eager to drag the match out any longer, the young prodigy forced McDonald's internal organs to collectively resign in one fell swoop. In the end, Inoue claimed his third WBA belt, punishing the trash talker and permanently shutting his foul mouth. Even though Inoue remains the undisputed champion to this day, he wasn't always at the top. Back on April 6, 2014, he was just a dark horse in the lightweight division. That day, the Japanese fighter finally got a shot at his first world gold against the Mexican pugilistic genius, Adrian Hernandez, also known as El Professor. For young Inoue, this bout was a mission impossible because Hernandez was a two-time WBC world champion with 4 consecutive belt defenses. But as soon as the fight started, Hernandez, unlike his ancient Mayan ancestors, decided to defend the nation's gold by shredding his opponent into pieces. The audience started mentally burying the challenger even before the fight got underway. To everyone's surprise, after enduring that brutal storm, Inoue blossomed like Sakura and began slicing up the Mexican's face like he was carving a burrito. Somehow, Hernandez survived this ring hell with the demon, even trying to claw back some advantage. But by the end of the 6th round, Inoue threw a knockout punch so vicious it forced Hernandez to kneel before the future king. Thus, Inoue earned his first WBC belt and proved that even the most experienced fighters should never be underestimated. Along his journey, Inoue faced many opponents, but this fight pitted him against a real scumbag. Warlito Paredes, known as War's Cowboy, had fought his very first pro bout when Inoue was only 12 years old. Given the huge difference in experience, Inoue had absolutely no right to underestimate him. Apparently, Paredes didn't see any danger in the young challenger and shamelessly provoked him during the fight. But Inoue wasn't about to put up with such dirty antics. By the 2nd round, he came out like he had his revolvers fully loaded and launched an all-out war in the ring against War's Cowboy. Unwilling to leave the outcome to the judges, Inoue landed a devastating blow straight from purgatory, sending the scumbag into a brief coma. Somehow, Paredes managed to get back up, but Inoue, like a true samurai, finished him off with a public harakiri. Inoue brutally punished the scoundrel for his antics, making him humble for good. Lastly, we present another gold hunting mission by Inoue, where the 20-year-old Japanese fighter faced a true demon. He went up against Omar Narvaez, a man who defended the world champion belt a total of 29 times, boasting 45 wins with only 1 loss. Perhaps riding on that record, Narvaez confidently believed this fight would be his anniversary defense of the WBO belt. And he wasn't alone. The audience thought Inoue had signed his death warrant instead of a fight contract. But as soon as the bout started, it was as if Naoya, mistaking the champion for a plate of sashimi, pounced on him without hesitation. He was ruthless, devouring his opponent non-stop. The destruction didn't stop in the first round. Inoue, like a true hitman, kept delivering precise headshots, ending every combo with a knockdown. Even Narvaez's liver, which had weathered over 45 fights, couldn't survive 2 rounds in the cage with this Japanese monster. After one final sledgehammer blow, Inoue sent Narvaez crashing to the canvas. In the end, Inoue secured his second WBO belt, showing his boxing to the whole world. Wild monster. The craziest fighter in Russia. This is Vyacheslav Datsik. Despite his appearance, he's a ruthless fighter. And even legends like Arlovsky and Emelianenko couldn't survive a single round with him. This Russian troll effortlessly juggled professional fights with store robberies and prison sentences. Nothing could stop this madman. And in this video, you'll learn all about the scariest fighter in Russia. Let's get ready for punishment. Here we go. Vyacheslav Datsik was born in 1980, and from a young age he was wild, constantly getting into fights, racking up 16 concussions, and landing himself on the police radar for his aggressive behavior. At 18, however, he discovered the world of sports and learned that it was a place where he could maim people for free. Datsik had absolutely no technique, but his raw physical strength was off the charts, earning him the nickname Ginger Tarzan. Just 1 year later, he made his professional debut against the future UFC champion Andrei Arlovsky, known as Pitbull. Unlike a wild Russian boar, Arlovsky had practiced martial arts his entire life, making him far more experienced and technically sound.
Giving his other opponent
the fight kicked off with both warriors exchanging thunderous blows. However, Arlovsky, built in the gym, proved much stronger than a street brawler.
It's like, here I come, go. I wonder who his crew is.
All those scrappy street fighting skills turned out to be useless, and Datsik ended up looking more like a giant punching bag.
Whoa, look at him.
Throughout the first round, Pitbull tormented his opponent and completely dominated Tarzan.
And a big kick by Arlovsky. Wow! They're slugging it out here!
But in a split second, everything changed for Arlovsky. The monster summoned every bit of strength in one colossal punch and sent Arlovsky straight to the land of Morpheus. After crushing such a powerful opponent in his debut, Datsik set off confidently to conquer the heights of MMA. But instead of enjoying his success, in his free time between fights, the crazy Russian was busy robbing stores. He was quickly arrested, declared insane by experts, and locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Not long after, he escaped and illegally made his way to Norway. There, law enforcement promptly intercepted him, declared him sane, and sent him back to Russia to serve his sentence. After spending 9 long years in prison, Datsik finally regained his freedom in 2019. And the moment Vyacheslav stepped out, he jumped right back into professional fighting, because the best thing he ever did was beat people up. Though he no longer looked nearly as imposing as in his youth, and had come to resemble a vicious troll, he still managed to pack explosive power in his fists. He confidently dismantled every opponent, though his insane temper often made itself known. Like a wild beast on the hunt, Tarzan charged into the ring with a ferocity that was simply unmatched. But eventually, the only one who could truly put an end to this mad fighter was none other than the blood brother of the legendary Fedor Emelianenko. Legendary Russian sports icon, Alexander Emelianenko, was once the undeniable favorite, having faced legends like Mirko Krokop, Fabricio Verdum, and Josh Barnett. It looked as if the wild fighter had no chance at all. But then, the bell rang, and within just 10 seconds, Tarzan sent that sports legend packing for early retirement. Since even the technically gifted fighters couldn't survive a single round with Tarzan, the organizers decided to give him an equally insane opponent. Meet Geronimo dos Santos, a hulking giant known as the Ring Chef, because he turns every opponent into a meat patty. At the press conference, the cocky Dos Santos tried to break his opponent's spirit by intimidating him, but he never expected that Datsik's level of madness was on another planet. These two wild warriors were about to settle who was the fiercest and most intimidating of them all. In the end, Datsik showed Dos Santos who ruled at the top of the food chain. Dos Santos did manage to get back on his feet for a moment, convinced he still had a chance. But Datsik swiftly buried all those hopes. Dos Santos's pride was completely erased, and he cowardly refused to continue the fight. In that bout, Datsik demonstrated to Dos Santos who the real lion of the pride was, and who was just a cowardly kitten. Vyacheslav Datsik is the most fearsome, ferocious, and powerful fighter out there. But behind that intimidating exterior lies an incredibly kind heart, one that melts for his beloved daughter and wife. To secure a bright future for his little girl, this crazy but loving father set out to conquer the entire fighting world. Next up for Vyacheslav was the great Antonio Silva from Brazil. The Brazilian fighter, nicknamed Bigfoot for the enormous size of his limbs, was a former UFC fighter who had, not long ago, dismantled legends like Fedor Emelianenko, Travis Brown, and Alistair Overeem. But all that glory evaporated the moment the bell sounded. Datsik delivered a carnival of pain and terror on the Brazilian. So completely outclassing him that he even mocked his opponent like a helpless child. Not even Bigfoot's gigantic legs could help him escape the wrath of the Ginger Monster. Tarzan pummeled Silva as if he'd stolen his bottle of vodka. Datsik hit so hard that he completely shattered Silva's head. Even though his body might still have been standing, Silva's soul had already left this world. And to cap off the spectacle, Datsik finished the show with a traditional beastly roar. By 2022, the Ginger Tarzan was terrifying all of Russia, but he was missing just one thing to cement his greatness: an official title. For that, he stepped into the ring for a heavyweight championship bout in one of Russia's top organizations. However, he had to face none other than the former UFC fighter and legend, Jeff Monson. Jeff, an elite fighter known as Snowman, had effortlessly destroyed every opponent in America and Russia. In 2018, backed by Putin's support, Monson even became a Russian deputy. Then, in 2022, Warrior of Putin and the Warrior of Beer met in the ring. Datsik immediately showcased his acrobatic skills, unleashing a series of fiery strikes on the Snowman. Occasionally, the Russian official tried to fight back, but the former convict turned Monson into a non-person. Soon after, Vyacheslav openly demonstrated that for him, Jeff posed less threat than a child's toy. The Ginger Tarzan proved to Monson that it was time to quit the fighting arena and focus on politics. In the end, Datsik won decisively by unanimous decision, capturing his first title. Crazy showman. Dancing demon. Boxing's rare gem. Ben Whitaker managed to tear up all the charts with his sensational performances in the ring. For the style of the British genius combines a deadly tango in a symphony with relentless punches. And today, we will tell you about the rise of the world boxing star and the tragedy that happened to him.
Come back to it.
This is Boxing Space. Here we go. A raw diamond from Britain, he's been in love with boxing, the royal sport, since childhood.
My G. See this guy here? This is Ben Whitaker. Ben Whitaker. Bad boy fighter. Olympic fighter right now, but I swear to you, this guy here, the creme de la creme. Yeah, man, I'm pretty in the ring.
And he gained victory after victory, all for the dream of his late grandmother, who wanted to see her grandson on the Olympic podium.
If I'm right in thinking, you actually missed your grandma's funeral to train for the Olympics, didn't you?
Why are you getting all this information?
We can pause. Come back to it. Sorry.
Though he stood on the Olympic podium, his heart told him the story wasn't finished. The Prince of Britain had yet to claim his crown, the one that would make him Lord of the Ring. And on June 15th, 2024, Ben got the chance to be crowned and stepped into his first title fight. His opponent was the Nigerian from the harshest corners of the African dunes, the undefeated Ezra Arenyeka, better known as the African King.
Ezra with the right arm.
Ezra was on a streak of 12 consecutive wins, 10 of which ended in stunning knockouts. And so, the overconfident Ezra staged a carnival of disrespect.
Because I don't respect him, I'm not scared of him, there's no fear here, so I'm here to do the needful, and I'm gonna knock him out, man, you know what?
Publicly insulting and then completely humiliating our hero. But as soon as the bell rang, Arenyeka nearly knocked Ben out with a staggering hurricane of punches.
So most of the time when he tries something to the guard, but Amanita looks to try and fire back, counts in with an overhand right, and was sure of himself as he comes across, as he reaches for a long right hand.
Onyeka shocked the world. Never before had Ben Whitaker been mocked like this.
And he's walk you onto shot.
Surgeon scalpel.
He's playing him on his own game. Here we go.
But Ben Whitaker couldn't allow himself to be overshadowed on the dance floor.
Brilliant. He mixes the speed up. He changes.
So he finally gathered his strength and displayed his true power.
Just about to complete a...
Even when he goes that left hook to the body, he really gets...
Heading into the final minute of round 6, if he can just keep turning.
Ezra was so worthless that after being rendered powerless in the fight, he decided to sneakily harm Whitaker's health during the break. This was the last straw for Ben, and he began his mission for the deadly execution of the filthy rat.
He's not a big hitter, you can see that. But he's hard enough, he can sneak you.
He's up left to the body. And he's just started there, and he can't even grip a body shot that's hurt him there just a few seconds beforehand because he started to retreat.
The surgeon ruthlessly removed the opponent's rat-like tumor and finally claimed his coveted belt. And now you will witness how the king mercilessly tore through all his opponents, stepping over their heads on his way to the throne. Everyone thought there was no equal to Whitaker, and even when the experienced Khalid Gridia was put up against him, Ben floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee.
Ben Whitaker in the black, Gridia in the white. Gridia below.
Due to Ben's insane speed, all of Khalid's punches seemed to be aimed at nothing but air.
With the right hand, but he's just been backed up to the ropes.
And Ben, in turn, while marinating his opponent's liver, didn't forget to channel his Michael Jackson moves.
Right hand, even if you're around, can he follow it up? He looked for it again there, but he managed to drop the elbow on it great. Whitaker's out.
And so, in the second round of the fight, Ben's hammers rang out like 9 symphonies by Beethoven, with the final chord sounding like a command to bow the knee. On December 12, 2023, the promoters sent Ben straight to the birthplace of gladiatorial combat, Rome. And in the arena of the modern Colosseum, Ben faced a true gladiator, Steven Dredja. From the very beginning of the fight, the agile Whitaker read his opponent's moves like an open book, dodging his opponent's punches like Neo. Ben never forgot to generously deliver jabs as sharp as blades.
This is what you get from Ben Whitaker, looking for that long right hand. More orthodox now again, looking for that long right, landed it. Didn't have any great effect on Dreadeye.
And at the end of the third round, Whitaker served up a Bolognese right on the Italian's face.
Go to the knee.
And then Ben began to frantically search for the switch button on his opponent. And finally, he found it on his opponent's chin. Thus, he stunned the audience with another spectacular knockout.
He is out. Reese Carter waves it over immediately and reaches for the gum shield right, followed by the left.
On May 6th, 2023, a Scotsman named Jordan Grant, known as The Game, was thrown to the Mad Surgeon for destruction. The legendary leopard print trunks of Nassim Hamed and the knockout power of Mike Tyson seemingly destroyed the Scottish fighter's spirit.
The light heavyweight limit yesterday, a good habit to get into.
There's the showboating.
Just looking out of the window. I was distracted by any of that. Whitaker just hopping in on one foot there, and I don't think they're really going to be able to control this.
And it seemed that Jordan's game was coming to an end. But Grant found the strength to get up and continue the fight, signing his own death warrant in the process. For Ben made it clear that the domination had only just begun.
Aziz, who were quite a distance away, that's going to be a hard conversation to have, to be honest.
I think it's Johnny who's shouting.
Nice 1-2 there from Whitaker, and then just steps off.
And after that, Grant once again assumed a horizontal position.
The backhand that came through, it wasn't even...
Oh, and he's staggered again here and down, right at the very start of the round here, Jordan Grant, and in comes the towel from the corner. And this fight is over. Whitaker.
It became unbearable for the Scottish fighter's cornermen to watch their boy getting beaten, and they decided to save his life by throwing in the white towel. On July 31st, Ben stunned everyone. Clashing in a fight with Greg O'Neill, Whitaker showcased a massive speed difference, literally spamming O'Neill with punches. Meanwhile, O'Neill did nothing but take the punches to the face. With that, he triggered the point of no return. For in that instant, Ben awakened a dancing demon that could not be stopped. With his moves, Whitaker staggered his opponent right and left. And then, with a deadly touch, he plunged O'Neill's consciousness into darkness. Thus, Ben magnificently announced himself to the harsh world of boxing. On July 7th, the surgeon went head-to-head with a serious threat, Slovakian knockout machine Vladimir Big Bad Vlad Beluski. With the bell barely echoing, Vlad transformed into Dracula and launched an all-out assault. Blood was on his mind. The Reaper's brutal pressure broke him down. Vlad's punching power disappeared like smoke.
Whitaker looks for it again now, but Beluski just dropped that left elbow on it. Just a little bit of a loss of balance there, I think, for Beluski more than anything else, as he moved up to his right. Whitaker just digging his toes in here, left hand to the body again.
By the time he'd given Bad Vlad 3 good lessons in how to behave, Ben thought, let's make this beatdown classy.
Right, round the back of the left glove of Beluski, rather than shooting it absolutely just there from Whitaker. But it's all business right from the start.
Any slight confidence, albeit possibly even false confidence, that Beluski may have been knocked out of him already.
Whitaker rocks him onto his heels there, Beluski, and then he paused Whitaker to encourage the crowd right in the lead. And This is difficult for Belushi. He's got to try and ignore all of that and just stick to the task and to the ball he is.
For a moment, it seemed Belushi was eager to repay his opponent in kind. With every move, he tried to show he was unfazed by the blows.
Belushi trying to pick those gloves up. Say between rounds, and in rounds 7 and 8 they'll try and look together a little bit.
But all it did was awaken Whitaker's fury.
Belushi stepped in, let the right hand go. Doubling up on the body as instructed. Then turned it into a screw shot, then a right hand down the middle, that was neat. Belushi with a little bit of trouble, and it goes down in a heap. And the referee...
Disgusted by the mockery, the surgeon turned savage, his fists like scalpels, dissecting his opponent blow by blow, leaving him no room to breathe.
Throws the right hand to the body. Already in this round, though, he looks to me like he's getting those feet a little bit closer.
Hard shots are playing just by sheer demoralising them, not letting them.
It's in the light heavyweight division, Ben Whitaker.
Whitaker put on the punch here again. Really asking any questions of Ben Whitaker, is just whether Ben can open him up.
Good left hand there for Whitaker. He's letting his hands go now. Final few seconds. He looked rocked there briefly. Belushi and Whitaker.
He turned his opponent into a quiet little chicken and went to eat one.
What he's done a good job of. Belushi is just not getting caught too many. A strong right hand there though. They've got him as he was coming forward. And Whitaker up, but he had a good 3-4 seconds there. Left hand there for Whitaker, and the referee has jumped in. Stop the fight, the corner don't like it. And Belushi.
After his thunderous triumph, the journey of boxing brought Ben full circle, back home for a clash with his fellow Brit, Leon Willings. Whitaker made his entrance in full Hokage gear from Naruto. The message was clear. This was his village, his rules.
So into the first we go, they're scheduled for 8.
Whitaker wasted no time. From the get-go, he dominated the action and cornered Willings with surgical precision. Whitaker, dancing in his trademark fashion, turned the ring into a red-lit stage of suffering and gave his opponent 10 rounds he won't forget.
Showboating that we've seen previously in fights, he's just got straight down to the business of letting his hands go. Strong right hand there again. Willings in the corner.
Yeah, I think that guy that maybe called him out at the press conferences keyed him off because he's really firing at all cylinders.
We're right to the end of the round.
It was like Willings had left his survival instinct in the locker room, eating punches with an open chin, but still swinging back every chance he got.
Good 1-2 there for Whitaker. Willings trying to get off the ropes, eventually does. Behind that.
Whitaker's dominance was so insane, even ghost punches had Willings tasting canvas.
Willings just offering in that head almost there. A little bit of a wild swing at Whitaker. He shimmies in front of him. Playing the matador to the ball, but Willings does manage to get hold of him to a degree. He's got a little bit into the final 10 seconds of round 5.
Leon is definitely getting...
It wasn't just a victory for Whitaker that night. It was the night he secured his first title shot, igniting a wave of euphoria among his fans.
A little bit of a tear-up really around Whitaker, standing a little bit closer. Good left right there from Willings, and swings himself off his feet. Looking for a huge left hook. Whitaker just managing to pull back out of range, but again...
How was he punching? Was it hurting him?
He punches like a mule kick. Unbelievable. Excuse my French, please. Oh my God.
Donovan Razor Ruddock was a savage executioner in the ring. ruthlessly taking down heavyweight fighters.
Die komt aardig door, gevolgd door een opstoot, dan weer een links en rechtse. En daar gaat hij.
With his unique physique, Ruddock created his trademark smash punch, a hybrid of the hook and uppercut. This punch made him the main supplier of injuries in the boxing world.
Power. A left hook and down goes Quintana.
Get ready to see Razor use his blades to create bloodbaths in the ring, making the most elite warriors shake with fear. Welcome to Boxing Space. Here we go. In 1990, Ruddock faced an opponent named Kimuel Odom, who cockily declares,
"It might be a KO. I might have to put my initials on him."
Ruddock was furious and couldn't wait to tear Odom apart, staring down his prey before the fight even started.
23-1-1. Kimuel Odom.
The bout began with a quick exchange, but Ruddock wasted no time showing Odom who was in charge in the ring.
Now Ruddock driving Odom back, lands a right hand down the pike. And a lefty foul by Razor Ruddock. Dan Jenkins is over there. Dan?
Tim, they are calling for a disqualification.
But the Razor's punches couldn't even ruffle Odom's hair, and before long, Odom completely took control of the fight.
Two rights landed by Odom to Ruddock and White. Another right hand landed by Odom. Odom's
Razor smashed Odom with his trademark smash, adding yet another soul to his collection.
Again, that 10 pounds, if this fight goes any distance, could be very, very important.
Right in the left hand. It was a short right hand that did the damage. Snapping back the head of Odom and a big left behind it. Now Ruddock trying to get following his late blow at the end of round 2. Razor Ruddock has scored a knockout victory.
The year before, Ruddock faced James Bone Crusher Smith, whose nickname spoke volumes about the kind of fighter he was.
Straight to me. Oh, he's got him.
Smith gave peak Iron Mike one of the toughest fights of his career, lasting all the way to the final bell, which seemed impossible back then.
This will keep going after the bell.
So, James posed a serious threat to Ruddock, and from the very start,
The ambition is the same, Mike Tyson.
he easily took Tyson's heavy punches like snacks.
By the uppercut, landed a right behind it, and a left and threw himself on.
Then, with a bomb of an overhand, Smith sent Donovan into another dimension.
Lands a good left hook. That punch to the fight, a right hand by Smith. Sends Ruddock down.
But Ruddock wasn't about to give up. With some strength left, he started turning the tide of the fight.
There's a left hand back from Ruddock. He's got Smith in a little trouble. Right hand in
The Canadian came at his already tired opponent with fierce fury, turning the ring into a torture chamber.
Some damage. Hasn't landed squarely, but he's got Smith in difficulty.
In the 7th round, Ruddock unleashed his signature smash again, sending the giant to sleep in the arms of Morpheus.
He's in trouble, Tim. 2 more right hands and a left uppercut. Smith goes down. It was the first right hand knockout by Donovan, Razor Ruddock of Canada.
Michael Dynamite Dokes was the most experienced of all Ruddock's opponents. Having faced legends like Evander Holyfield,
testament to the skill,
and Riddick Bowe, Dynamite intended to blow up the Canadian prospect and clearly dominated due to experience.
Way of thinking about boxing, and once they get up in position, they don't.
He's a little shaken by it. Dokes opening up.
Doesn't belong inside.
But in the next 3 minutes, Ruddock adapted to Dokes' tricky tactics and, seizing the opportunity, unleashed his deadly smash.
Dokes slipped.
But if he would have nailed Dokes with that left hook, makes Dokes susceptible to.
In the end, Ruddock gave the boxing audience a brutal illustration of a soul leaving the body, knocking out Michael Dokes with savage force.
Not using his legs at all.
One left hook. Dokes went down to the second straight. Dokes is down. And he may be out. Man, it's all over.
It's all over. Impressive performance by Razor Ruddock. This is the best young heavyweight prospect I've seen in years, Sam.
New Jersey, 1988. On the way of the young but already rising Ruddock stood a giant with 55 fights under his belt, Larry Alexander.
Introduced him as Big Larry Alexander, and big he is, too.
As soon as the bell rang, a true chess match began, with the ring replacing the board.
He is pursuing them, but Alexander...
But the only grandmaster in this battle was Ruddock, who used his sledgehammers to make Larry fight against the force of gravity.
15 seconds remain in the round. Alexander in big trouble. Cappuccino watching him.
Alexander was saved from being sent to Dreamland by the bell at the end of the first round.
Give that 8 count. A hard left hook. Staggers the legs. Another one. This could be over.
In the next round, the experienced Alexander tried the legendary rope-a-dope tactic made famous by Muhammad Ali against Foreman.
Alexander does not look steady. The Mike Tyson. It's Knight's dream, isn't it?
If he has a right hand, he might have a chance.
Nice to dream.
Razor didn't play by his opponent's rules, slowing the pace of the fight and putting Alexander's guard down.
Ronaldo Snipes had him down.
Then, with his trademark cannon, Ruddock knocked the giant's tower down, crushing Larry's desire to continue and forcing him to retire from professional boxing.
Hurt him with a hard left hand and he came back.
He missed 2 lefts, hit him with a right. Left. That left hand.
Angelo Dundee in the ring.
It's over.
Even if Larry could continue, Angelo wanted to see no more of this one.
That looked like King Kong falling off the top of the...
A few months later, the rising star faced off against the giant Eddie Richardson. From the very beginning, the confident giant, believing in his massive size, thought this fight would be an easy walk.
You have to wonder for Ruddock, though, how much of a letdown...
But Ruddock turned it into a grueling marathon around the ring, forcing his opponent to run for his life.
He really has to come back with the right after he throws the left. Just covering up, he's not even trying to throw punches back. He's already shot the kind of power that...
Richardson didn't want to fight with his fists, instead trying to provoke Ruddock, putting on a show of disrespect.
He's trying to survive, dropping his hands, showboating a little bit. A little taunting from Richardson there. I don't know if that's...
Ruddock, not one to tolerate such antics, quickly delivered a hat trick with his fists. First, he sent a dose of calm to the show-off's jaw, shutting him up.
Stopping Richardson out. Oh, there's a left hand. Left hand hitting Richardson to the canvas. It was a short, sharp.
Then, he sent the scoundrel's massive ass crashing to the canvas again.
You've got to tie up Ruddock. Another big left hand, and down goes Richardson.
And for dessert, with a phantom touch of death, Ruddock humbled the cocky fool for good.
Richardson has to hold on to him. He has to tie up Ruddock. He's just doing the wrong thing. Another left hand puts Richardson down. That's good ended, Robbie. 3 knockdowns in his first round, all coming by the left hand of Donovan Razor Ruddock.
The next fight for the Ring's Reaper took place later that same year against Reggie Gross, who went after Tyson like a wild hunt, nearly dethroning the king of boxing. So this fight was considered a tough challenge for Ruddock.
Terwijl de toeschouwers zich nog niet massaal hebben.
But none of that mattered to Ruddock, and the Canadian pounced on his opponent from the start of the fight in his usual style, turning the tough warrior into a whipping boy.
En een hoek op het hoofd van Gross. Goeie linkse, die komt aardig door. Gevolgd door een opstoot en dan weer een linkse rechtse. En daar gaat hij, op zijn derrière. Reggie Gross, 8 tellen voor hem.
In the end, Ruddock mercilessly tore through Gross, stealing years off his opponent's life and putting a definitive end to the fight, bursting into the elite of the heavyweight division.
Jovel ziet hij er niet meer uit. En meteen gevolgd door een combinatie van Razor Ruddock, die natuurlijk in de tweede ronde een rechtse die vol doorkomt. En dat heeft de scheidsrechter goed gezien. Die maakt vingers, want Reggie Gross die wil doorgaan, die heeft helemaal niet in de gaten dat het eigenlijk...
Jones is the only fighter behind the right hand, and down goes Hall.
Straight left hand. So the style of the whatever.
Same how they learned Saturday night.
In In the world of sweet science, Roy Jones Jr. is rightfully hailed as a true genius.
Prince Charles Williams, same kind of a fight. Right.
Combining unbelievable speed with terrifying power. He didn't just knock opponents out, he made them look like children in comparison.
Right to the body, down. Unheard of.
Get ready to dive back into the world of beautiful boxing, the world of Roy Jones Jr.
Light heavyweight champion of the world.
This is Boxing Space, and here we go. In 1994, young Roy faced a real maniac in boxing trunks, Thomas Ice-T Tate.
He got hurt there. Yeah. And his legs buckled and down goes Shoulder. Oh, there's another knockdown.
This dirty scoundrel, not recognizing Roy as a worthy opponent, went as far as insulting Jones and his entire team.
29 victories, 20. Thomas Tate.
However, this turned out to be a fatal mistake for the loudmouth, as Roy Jones began to crush Ice-T with his hooks like an icebreaker.
Couldn't really land effectively against Jones.
Jones has 5 career.
But apparently, the idiot didn't learn from his mistakes, as he continued to provoke Roy.
And that is the end of round 1. Tate says you didn't hurt me.
At that moment, Jones's patience ran out, and in an instant, Roy sent the rascal to the disciplinary district with his signature counterpunch.
96 punches in round 1.
Oh, and down goes Tate. Wow. It was an inside left. He's on the corner rope, standing. Richards deal with the count.
In the end, he taught Tate an unforgettable lesson and avenged the honor of his team.
Roy Jones Jr. does a dance early in round 2. His 6th career second-round knockout.
In 2000, Roy Jones faced a true giant, Richard the Destroyer Hall, a man who had already left 23 bodies in his wake.
And when he's in close, we know that Hall has a good chin.
The audience expected Hall to become the Aqua Regia that would dissolve the gold-covered Roy.
A clean fight. Obey my commands. He comes from Jamaica, and Jamaica has...
But the moment the bell rang, Roy, as if he had signed a deal with a demon of dance, started playfully destroying the Destroyer.
You don't want to do anything but just stick your hands out. You don't have
to... Jones is the only fighter in CompuBox history. Now he puts power behind the right hand, and down goes Hall. Customarily, Roy Jones will go after a guy in the first round, test him to see how available he is.
And then Jones, with a sniper-precise shot, decided to one-tap his opponent's jaw.
The one thing about Roy Jones, he has not been a good finisher in a long time.
Well, he hadn't had a first-round knockout since 1997. When he
but Richard rose like a phoenix from the ashes.
Shot by Jones. And Hall bangs him. He is remembering the tab. And now Hall feels aggressive and goes to Jones's body.
With every punch, Hall was breaking Roy like a toy.
He's got taking sunbeaming and just keeps firing back. Tremendous showing by Hall. That's his best round statistically. The bad news was Jones was 38.
But Roy, gathering the shattered pieces of Hall's confidence together, started taking control of the fight.
Jones Pudzianowski
got to throw some to get some of the air out of him. For good reasons, evidently he's been
floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. Soon, Jones's fists left the referee no choice but to rescue Hall from a hospital bed.
Why doesn't the referee stop it? This is a bloodletting. This is absolutely preposterous. Richard Hall should not be taking these shots.
In 1994, unable to find worthy challengers at middleweight, Roy Jones set his sights on conquering the next division.
This fight by fighting Prince Charles Williams.
But in his very first fight at super middleweight, he faced the reigning champion and the undisputed king of the division, James Toney.
At least a minute or two away from ending, yes. We may be seeing the end of an era. Hooked by Toney.
It seemed like the undefeated Toney would simply end Roy's career in this fight.
In the dressing room,
I'm cautioning you again, obey my commands at all times.
The starving man for victory, and there's the bell.
And as soon as the bell rang, Tony charged like a hellhound, pressuring Roy and doing everything to break his spirit.
Like the one he put on Barkley, that was something.
James Tony, since he's such a...
And he seems a bit confused. Or
What's your game plan against Roy Jones?
It seemed that the challenger would soon be resting on the canvas.
Good that foot from Tony. Big shot from Tony.
I would have told James Tony that 4 rounds ago.
To be a lead is you have 3 judges.
But after recovering, Roy began to humiliate the champion in his signature style.
Here it comes down. He somehow finds a way to get out of your way.
Which was really just a 10-second warning for the fighter.
You saw what happened. Jones had his hands down, but they're so quick he leaned back and caught.
With each blow, Jones brought himself closer to a new belt.
To the body against a guy with such quick hands here, because he was fooling around.
You know, so far Jones has asserted himself pretty well. Good combination from Jones. Tony into trouble!
And then Roy created one of the most brilliant moments in boxing history.
We've seen from Tony had to be against McCallum and also what he did against Iron Barkley.
The ropes when he got pinned there with some beautiful shots back at Tony.
Oh! Big left hook! And down goes Tony! He was caught showing off!
Aided by that patented jumping left hook.
In the end, Roy Jones won by unanimous decision and became one of the few boxers to win multiple divisions.
By unanimous decision, and new super middleweight champion of the world.
In 1998, Roy Jones Jr. stepped into the ring with a serious threat, Virgil Quicksilver Hill.
He needs that 1 minute rest. And there he's down.
Counter punch by Hill. Back into the corner. And another left. Kitchen is in trouble. Big trouble. And he's going to go. He's down.
Hill was no joke. With an incredible record of 44 wins and just 1 loss, he posed a very real danger to Roy. But as soon as the fight started, Jones began to destroy Virgil with his fists, like Dante.
You get the impression early it doesn't have it in him. Jones lands the left.
Even with his nickname Quicksilver, Hill couldn't keep up with Jones's high speed.
Another quick left-hand shot by Jones, and he lands the right over the top. There's not enough weight behind him yet. To me. But the jab.
And not eager to drag out the evening, Roy detonated Hill's liver with a brutal blow, causing him hellish pain.
Jones's power over Hill's jab. Whoa! Right to the body, down. Unheard of. Unheard of. Only the 3rd time Hill's ever been down. He's holding the kidney area on the right side. Again. And unheard of. The fight. He shot as well. Long time ago back in Vegas. Power in his legs now. Hard left hand by Griffin.
In 1997, the undefeated Montel Griffin became Roy Jones Jr.'s worst nightmare. By handing Roy his first career loss, Griffin created one of the biggest upsets of the year.
So he can't get set for those big punches.
From his low crouching position, there's a scorecard that has Montel Griffin winning the first 2 rounds. Montel got in a couple of very good shots.
Too much punching. Switching his arms after the first round as well as after the second.
Well, I think it's safe to say that these 2 fighters don't like each other. On that target.
The left hook.
Okay, time. Champion of the world, Montel Ice Griffin.
Roy wasn't gonna let it slide. Determined to reclaim his lost crown, he demanded a rematch and finally got it. Even before the bell, it was clear Roy was locked in.
Rules of the World Boxing Council.
That was true the first time.
And from the very first punch, he began a total dismantling of Griffin.
Open for a counter.
About Roy Jones's left hook leads. Jones lands it.
Let me tell you, that first left hook hurt Griffin.
And so does the second one. And Mercanti calls it a knockdown.
By the 2nd minute of the fight, Jones tore Griffin apart with his own hands, sending him straight to Tartarus.
Benefiting by it. Oh, what a left hook. What a left hook.
Second knockdown of the round.
That was a leaping left hook, and Griffin may not survive it.
In the end, Roy reclaimed his titles and silenced every last critic.
The most important fight of Roy Jones' life.
Roy Jones began his career with stunning success, knocking out his first 15 opponents.
6. Jones says, come on, Vinny, let's call it a day. That's going to be it. I think Tony Lionel's up.
Putting together some of his
And apparently, the promoters, realizing the strength of the prospect, decided to deprive him of his sacred zero in his record. After all, in 1992, Jones faced not just any opponent, but a real Mexican killer who had previously been a world champion.
Jones thinks he won't last long.
However, as soon as the bell rang, the prospect, without wasting a second, began to chop up the Mexican's face like a burrito.
Jones lands against the ropes.
And in a moment, Roy sent Jorge straight to the dark lands with a lightning-fast blow.
And the left hand, but down he goes!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Jones Jr.
With the catchy nickname The President, Ike Ibeabuchi destroyed any opposition in a fist confrontation that dared to stand in his way.
Well, once again, Davis on the floor here again in round 9.
Throughout his career, Ibeabuchi is known as a very tough boxer, but that's not for nothing.
My tip for the top seemed to be the kiss of death, but once again, good work here from Ibeabuchi.
In fact, Ike was an undefeated champion who could hear the demons in his head and cut them down in the ring. For his knockout power, he was prophesied to be on Mike Tyson's throne, but mental issues prevented him from dethroning the king. But it was precisely this flaw that made him a true American psycho, who maimed people in and out of the ring. Get ready, because now you will find out about the most reckless fighter in history. This is Boxing Space. Here we go. Ibeabuchi's first confrontation on our list was a fight against a boss on the impossible difficulty level, and this legendary opponent turned out to be the Samoan, David Tua, and the award in this fight was the WBC belt. For a heavyweight, this undefeated Samoan Terminator was only a paltry 5 feet 10 inches, but this didn't prevent David from gaining the recognition of the entire boxing world as the owner of the strongest punch in history.
Tua tries to finish. Strong right here and tries.
However, Ike, still mentally sound, decided to test Tua's power, so he challenged him to a 12-round duel. Both fighters entered the ring with perfect records, but the favorite was Tua, with a record of 27 wins, with 23 knockouts and 0 losses.
That they will take his gloves in the second round.
The fight started, and from the very first seconds, these giants staged a real Ragnarok in the ring. The fans were experiencing the whole range of emotions, not stopping for a second because Tua and Ibeabuchi turned the ring into a movie set where the best action movie in history was filmed.
Good left hook in his last couple of fights.
Right hand landed for Ibeabuchi.
It wasn't just a rumble, it was a chess game of grandmasters played with fists because the fighters showed the highest skill of boxing.
And Ibeabuchi answers with left hooks of his own. Now they begin to trade shots. He got the jump on him and was more of an aggressor in the other round.
Blood, sweat, and pain merged in a dizzying vortex of this duel, thus forcing the audience to view all this massacre in one breath. And as a result of all judges' decisions, Ibeabuchi won it confidently. Thus, he became the WBC World Champion and the discoverer of David Tua's defeat. However, it was this fight that became fatal for Ike. As Ike himself claimed, he began to hear demons in his head, which led him to schizophrenia and further imprisonment. Even after his release from prison, those demons in his head never stopped haunting him, and they haunted him until the end of his career in March 1999. But in this fight, those voices awakened a real beast in Ike. To share the four corners of the ring with this madman, volunteered undefeated Chris Bird, a master fist fighter who would beat undefeated Vitaly Klitschko in due time and take the IBF title from Evander Holyfield.
These are the type of fighters that Bird wants to fight.
Chris Bird teeing off some fights, still stays on his feet.
Their 10-round lecture began.
In the blue corner, anything you want to add?
To become a heavyweight, so he's packed on a lot of weight.
And Bird immediately began to show in practice where the skull is located in the human body.
And Ibeabuchi so far has shown
However, Ike, apparently wanting an excellent mark, volunteered to point out the location of not only the skull, but also the liver in the human body.
Working the body.
Good left hook, Ibeabuchi. Another good one.
He's hurting very bad. He doesn't even know where he is right now. He's trying to keep him down.
And already in the 5th round of the fight, the demons seem to have taken over Ike's body because they forced him to sacrifice Bird's body to them.
Oh, they can stop it. They can stop it right now.
Something.
Bird in serious trouble. Ibeabuchi has knocked Chris Bird out.
Ibeabuchi.
Now let's take the keys to the DeLorean and travel back to January 1997, when Ike was still mentally healthy. A giant among giants, Calvin Jones, volunteered to dance in the four-corner scene with Ike.
Well, he's walking around with a barrel on his back. Now he's got a...
And when the referee started this festival of violence and pain, Ike immediately began spinning Jones in a deadly tango all around the ring.
Streak going, winning 2 fights in '96. She's never been Sando before. Most he's ever been is 8 rounds, and that was this past November. Calvin Jones
going in with a big puncher, knock everybody out. He does okay. Sometimes...
Though Jones tried to use his size advantage, Ike was a mouse to this elephant.
He's already got Jones going into a shell. He's out jabbing. You know, he's got that 7-8 inch reach advantage, but Ike Ibeabuchi comes in. Throwing punches down.
Next, Ike began to play a requiem melody foreshadowing for all that now will be fatality.
Still plenty of time left here in round number 2, and Jones stopped him because Rush doesn't have a great shot. He hurt Jones. Jones is hurt. Goes down, comes over the top with a 2-punch combination and goes.
Ibeabuchi.
Which is exactly what happened. Our next timeline was September 1997, at a time when Ike was just starting to have mental problems. On this day, the ring with Ike was shared by the Jamaican monster Everton Davis.
Oh, he's on the right hand. He's got a... Oh, and down goes Pickle.
Johnson defending his IBF flyweight championship for the 7th time, but bags of them on the record of Everton Davis. As they come out for round 1.
In the opening round of the fight, Ike immediately began to methodically demolish his opponent. Apparently before the fight, the Madman had agreed with Mr. Right and Ms. Left that they should knock out his opponent today.
David Tua outpointed him. Alex Garcia. Around the whiskers, I'm afraid. And my tip for the top seemed to be the kiss of death, but once again, good work here from Ibeabuchi.
Davis's pathetic attempts to exercise Ike only made him angry.
Left to be answered is, can Everton Davis survive? Takes 2 good rights there, goes down again. And that's the question, can he survive these big punches from Ibeabuchi?
6. Be real good. 7.
So, Ike decided not to be nice to Davis and send him to the realm of Freddy Krueger.
Well, once again, Davis on the floor here again in round 9.
Chino calls a halt to the bouts.
It is also worth mentioning Ike's one more interesting fight, which was with Marion Wilson. Wilson is a boxer who has pumped all his skill points into defense, thanks to which he was never knocked out or even knocked down.
One of the more experienced heavyweights.
Their fight began, and Ike was putting more into his punches than ever, but Wilson was as steadfast as a rock.
China one time, he told me that they were calling him Tyson.
Same color shorts. Some of these names, I'm going to rattle them off fast, that Wilson has been in with.
Ike was delivering punches of such power that any other heavyweight would have fallen dead on the canvas.
Quickly. Ike looks a little bit out of sorts here, Arnie, to me.
We're out there as we're under 10 seconds to go into 6. What I think's happening with Wilson and why he's landing some of these...
Wilson must have pissed off Morpheus because the creator of dreams didn't want to see him in his kingdom.
And maybe he figures he can take him out to deep water and drown him in those lanes.
Never been stopped before. Taking the best shots right now from Ike the President. He's got a wonder
guy. And to know that you can go 10 rounds.
Ike won in the end, but even though he didn't knock Wilson out, he gave him the toughest fight of his career.
Down goes Gatti.
As Ward before.
Body shot again. That's the body shot.
He is hurt
This is it. He's not going to recur. It's not like a head punch.
Who has been at the helm of Ward's boxing career pretty much
Kill or be killed. That was the motto of Arturo Gatti, the most thrilling warrior boxing has seen in the 21st century. In deadly exchanges, Gatti switched off his survival instinct, focusing only on the complete destruction of his opponent.
Now into this one and gun.
How low that hand is, and a right from Gatti. He couldn't.
That bloody trilogy with Mickey Ward carved its name into the golden archives of world boxing.
Now they're going to get 15 rounds. Oh, look at that. He may finally be fighting Emmanuel at his own.
Prepare yourselves. Today, we'll take you inside the life of the most ruthless fighter ever and expose the dark mystery of his death, in which even his wife is involved. Born in 1972 into a poor family, at 15, he stepped into a boxing gym and started his way to the top. 4 years later, Gatti made his professional debut, instantly earning the nickname Thunder, along with the love of fans from all around the world. His career took off like a rocket. 29 fights, 29 wins. He had never tasted defeat.
Now into this one and gun.
And then, a former WBC world champ, Gabriel Ruelas, came for his head. The experienced Ruelas planned to easily take down the rising star and ride the wave of hype off his name. But once the fight started, Gabriel caught only a wave of pain.
Is landing more than half of his. Fighters have made a couple of statements here in the first round. Willis lands 2 right hands. Gatti comes back with a solid right of his own over the top.
But by round 3, Gabriel proved he was a champion for a reason. He adapted to Gatti's tactics and completely turned the tide of the fight.
I think they could stand a loss just to see Gabe back at his best.
Well, I don't think he has losing in mind. He's landing at the last 20 seconds.
He's having an excellent round.
Ruelas was too overconfident, pressing forward relentlessly, not giving his opponent even a chance to breathe.
Battle of uppercuts, both men landing big uppercut shots.
Gatti was pinned against the ropes, and he took a powerful uppercut that should have ended that fight. But it seemed that the word surrender simply didn't exist in Gatti's vocabulary.
Willis taking the punches.
When they come in the ring to fight, they've gained 15 and 15 and a half pounds.
And Gatti took his chance, and with a marvelous shot, sent his opponent into an induced coma.
Low blow by Gatti. Esteves says keep him up. Right hand lands over the top. Down goes Willis.
This fight received 2 awards, Fight of the Year and Knockout of the Year. Then, Gatti continued his crusade for the heads of his opponents. In search of a worthy opponent for the Canadian, the matchmakers chose Mickey Ward, nicknamed Irish.
Gatti punched. Then after losing a championship shot at Vince Phillips, he came back against a...
In the ring, Ward felt like a king, and his signature left hook to the body made many of his opponents kneel before him.
Just throw it. Throws that shot up top. To get the arm to lift a little bit.
Although both warriors knew of each other's passion for violence, neither could have imagined that this rivalry would be written into boxing history as the greatest trilogy of all time.
So just be careful when you move into the corner.
The bell rang, and the ring turned into a coliseum, where 2 gladiators started smashing each other without mercy.
He's been all over the scale, 130, 135. I think he may finally be fighting Emmanuel at his most effective weight.
And then Gatti took control of the ring, and in his usual style, he pounced, throwing a series with an open guard.
If Arturo doesn't bleed, he's an upset. Look at the combinations.
Mixing up his punches very well. Right hands over the shoulder, a variety of things. Body punches.
Thus, Arturo took the first 4 rounds until the Irishman found his rhythm and started chasing him down in a battle for the knockout.
Now they're going to get 15 rounds.
Oh, look at that! Look at that combination! The blood begins. And he's loaded up every punch.
This fight turned into a roller coaster as the fighters, like diligent debtors, refused to stay in the red, making sure every punch thrown didn't go unanswered.
Another right hand again, and it comes right back.
Amateur, he was a boxer. Early in his pro career, he was a brawler.
And change-ups, and then the high hardwood again.
Then, in round 9, Ward revealed his ace in the glove, hammering the liver harder than a shot of Irish whiskey ever could.
This kind of action.
Ward landed 42 out of 71 punches.
We're not as strong a fighter as Ward before.
That body shot again. That's the body shot.
It's the left hook to the body, Ward.
That hellish shot landed right on target, and Gatti's face showed all the agony he was going through.
And he is hurt.
This is it.
He may not be able.
Many fighters would not have got back on their feet after such a shot, but Gatti refused to bend the knee before his opponent. Even though his body was on red alert, he fought on.
He's still hurting from the body punch also still, in addition to the head.
After a while, once his liver began to function again, Gatti started heroically answering back to the Irishman.
For the time being.
Vicious body shots by Gatti.
By continuing this battle, Gatti was literally risking his life.
Gatti's going to survive the round.
But in the final round, it was clear that neither fighter was willing to lose, as Ward determined to finish his mission, and Gatti, risking his health, turned the ring into pure chaos.
He's come out and asserted himself, Emmanuel.
Yes.
But he doesn't have trouble firing away.
Seems to have taken some
Yes, he's taking
fresh air from it.
And he's winning his fight now.
In the end, Mickey Ward secured the victory by a controversial decision.
Irish Mickey Ward!
Nevertheless, both fighters delivered a historic battle for the ages. The Ring magazine recognized this battle as Fight of the Year, and the 9th round as Round of the Year. So a rematch was immediately arranged for the two gladiators, but this time Gatti came in smart, delivering a technical and disciplined performance to win the rematch against the Irishman.
Ward still punching back.
Defend himself.
This is a fight.
Who has been at the helm of Ward's boxing career pretty much well. There's a quick right hand by Gatti. And Mickey Ward goes down. You don't see that.
And he even got revenge for his liver. Gatti leveled the score, yet the rivalry was far from over, just as the fans had been dying to see. Finally, in June 2003, the two warriors stepped into the final chapter of their legendary trilogy. All 15,000 seats at the boardwalk in Atlantic City were sold out. Unlike the first fight, which had taken fans by surprise, and this time everyone knew exactly what showdown they were buying a ticket for. Even though no championship belt was at stake, the anticipation of the fight sent chills through the audience. And so the third chapter began, and Gatti started brutally unleashing a barrage on the Irishman from every angle, dismantling Ward piece by piece.
Disadvantage offensively to the two fighters that they know each other so well. Something to use as a beacon to help him beat the demons of drugs and alcohol.
And evidently, Edgar was also one of the...
It seemed like the script of the second fight was repeating itself, with everything going well in Arturo's way.
Start punching more. The fight continues to go as it is.
But then Gatti threw an unlucky punch, shattering the bones in his hand completely.
Back in it in a big way.
It was excruciating pain, but the Canadian's kill or be killed instinct dragged him back into the battlefield.
What you want me to do?
In the blink of an eye, the tide of the fight turned completely upside down. Gatti had effectively become a one-handed fighter.
He tries to get Ward off of him with one hand.
At every attempt to use his broken hand, Gatti felt excruciating agony. Every punch he threw ended up hurting him more than his opponent.
Gatti coming back, using the left hand.
Yeah, the right hand is definitely hurt.
What was even worse, it became incredibly painful for the Canadian to block Ward's punches, forcing him to take some shots straight to the face.
5 straight left hooks, 7 left hooks. He mixed in one right hand. Here comes Ward, crowd on its feet.
But adrenaline and Gatti's relentless spirit overpowered the pain, and he started launching his signature combinations.
The next day, there's a cut on the left eye now of Ward.
However, the exhausted Irishman refused to become the prey of a wounded beast and kept searching for Gatti's off switch on his body.
You gotta give him an extra break because it was a clean knockdown. And he hurt Gatti with the right hand. Hurt him badly.
Comes in and doesn't punch often enough.
Hang it up.
Gatti managed to fend off the shots, but Ward's attacks kept breaking through his guard again and again.
Down goes Arturo on a wide swinging right hand.
The whole thing was mostly from balance.
But Gatti didn't care. His body might have been failing him, but his spirit refused to break.
Look at Arturo firing that broken right hand.
For pound punches.
His 7th round.
Yeah, especially
In the final moments, both fighters gathered their last reserves of strength and unleashed one final, spectacular brawl.
Who may finally be in position to try to fight for a title. They're done.
Ultimately, Gatti emerged victorious in the fight and in the war. Even though none of the fights ended in a knockout, these fighters delivered a trilogy to the boxing world, straight out of Hollywood's finest scripts. But it turned out to be the Irishman's final blaze. At the age of 35, he finally decided to end his brilliant career. And Arturo kept climbing to the top of the food chain. In 2000, he faced Joey Gamache, a fighter with a stunning record of 55 victories and just 3 defeats.
Gatti looked absolutely.
The bell rang, and Gatti seized control from the very first moment.
Going back to a boxing style will be, how long is it before he dispenses squaring his shoulders up and just...
Soon, Gamache was sent to kiss the canvas.
A name with its own colorful place in boxing history, and there's a knockdown by Gatti as he puts Gamache across the bottom rope with a minute still to go in the first.
Arturo continued to pick up the pace, beating his opponent like a punching bag.
Stops Gatti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull at Gatti.
Oh, there's a big left hook by Gatti, and the body punch set it up. And Joey Gamache looks very wobbly now with 30 seconds still to go in the round.
It was clear that Gatti was on a completely different level. He made Gamache look like an amateur.
Gamache punching back, but giving Gatti a chance to land. Looks like Gamache is going to make it out of the round.
Gamache barely survived until the second round, but the destruction continued. Then a signature combination dropped Gamache cold.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a 15-pound weight advantage. Every time he lands a shot, it's abundantly clear. Benji Estevez isn't going to bother with it.
After such a humiliating defeat, Gamache rethought his life and decided to retire from boxing forever.
Arturo Thunder Gatti.
In 1995, Gatti finally got his long-awaited chance to claim the IBF world title. But the final boss, Tracy Harris Patterson, was standing in his way.
Come out and try to land it early. Patterson will look for Gatti.
Patterson had years of experience and was the undisputed favorite in the fight.
2 minutes into round 1.
After the opening bell, Tracy set out to prove his status, and like a professional chef, began turning Gatti's face into a ribeye steak.
Taking the advantage early in the fight.
wait until that jab makes some contact.
But despite all the shots he took, Gatti only got more fired up, and like a gladiator, he relentlessly pounced on Patterson.
Closeness to get his shot in.
Now Gatti coming back with power shots.
Yet he couldn't knock him out.
Tactic much. Crowd beginning to boo, and down goes Patterson on an uppercut.
Gatti's stamina began to fail him, and his chances of victory were slipping away right before everyone's eyes.
The 10th round. Will he have the wisdom to try to limit Patterson?
Punches, and instead of lingering there looking for more, he has the reach.
Good right hand by Gatti that time.
And another right hand.
But once again, Arturo Gatti proved he belonged to a different league.
Closeness to get his shot in.
Now Gatti coming back with power shots again. Progressed enormously this year as a body puncher. Hard right hand counter by Patterson. Gatti again decides to answer with artillery. Effective with combinations in the 11th round, is now trying to load the right hand and end it with one punch.
In the end, the Canadian claimed a decisive victory and became the IBF champion.
Arturo Thunder Gatti.
Sadly, the story of this remarkable fighter ended tragically and mysteriously. After retiring, under unclear circumstances involving his wife, Arturo was found hanged in his hotel room. Some investigators believed he had been murdered, while others considered it suicide. The true reason remains unknown, and we can only guess what really happened that fateful night. But it would be wrong to say that Arturo Gatti truly died. Thanks to his unforgettable style, he will forever live in our hearts and in boxing history as a warrior with an unbreakable will. A man who literally gave everything to boxing.